More and more stuff keeps coming out from Maggie Haberman's new book titled Confidence Man, and one of the things that we learned at the end of this past week was that when Donald Trump grew angry at all of the rest of his, competent lawyers for refusing to go along with his schemes to overturn the 2020 election, he turned to Rudy Giuliani. And according to not just Haberman, but also a Washington Post reporter, Trump told Giuliani to go wild and do whatever you want with his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. So let me read this. This is from both Maggie Haberman and the Washington Post, Josh Daisy. And they said, quote, Trump gave former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani control of his legal team because his other lawyers were not willing to go far enough to overturn the 2020 election. Okay, Rudy, you're in charge. Go wild. Do anything you want. I don't care, Trump said during a phone call. Okay, Rudy, you're in charge. Go wild. Do anything you want. I don't care. And then Trump added, my lawyers are terrible. Now, I'm wondering if the my lawyers are terrible statement was also referring to Giuliani, because I would think it would definitely apply to him. Hell, it would apply to all of Donald Trump's lawyers today. Like, you could make that statement for him right now, and it would be just as valid as it was back then. But the irony here is that Donald Trump thought his other lawyers were terrible because they weren't willing to, break the law to overturn the results of a Democratic election here in the United States. Like, that's what makes a terrible lawyer in Donald Trump's book. Which, by the way, totally makes sense when you look at Donald Trump's other lawyers. Rudy Giuliani, doing work for Trump, now under criminal investigation. Michael Cohen, convicted and sent to prison for doing illegal things for Donald Trump. John Eastman, another one of Trump's lawyers, now under investigation for possible illegal activity, all related to Donald Trump. So Trump is used to having lawyers that are willing to break the law in order to serve him and do what he wants. So when he encounters these White House lawyers, like Pat Cipollini's one of them they mentioned, that wouldn't do these things, Trump's like, well, then you guys are terrible. Because that's not what he's used to. I mean, I think that's a very important part of this story that people have to understand. Michael Cohen did Donald Trump's dirty work for him, and a lot of it, as we now know, illegal, for 20 years. And he paid a price for it. And he's out there warning Trump's other lawyers now, don't make the mistakes I did. Giuliani didn't listen. Giuliani took that message, go wild, and the first thing he did to go wilding out was book a press conference at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. So he wasn't off to a good start. I mean, gotta admit that, Donald, right? You're like, dude, go wild. You do whatever it takes. And Giuliani's like, I'm going to the landscaping company. Woohoo, boy. Oh, let me spray on my hair. Because I'm sure we all remembered it was during this press conference that Giuliani's spray on hair was melting down his face. Because it was hot outside. Because they weren't at the Four Seasons Hotel. They were at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. So yeah, Rudy went wild. He did whatever he wanted to do. And it didn't work out too well for anybody, thank goodness. And as I always say, thank God Donald Trump put the most incompetent people imaginable in charge of his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Because if he had put good, competent people in charge, if they had gone along with it, things may have turned out a little bit differently. Luckily, we have melty head Rudy Giuliani running the show, and we all saw how that ended. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.